In November 2001, A and G squadrons of the elite 22 SAS launch a daring raid on a remote Al-Qaeda opium plant and command center deep in the Afghan desert in a classified operation codenamed Trent. The mission is a success, but the victory comes at a cost as 4 SAS soldiers are wounded. Captain John Redding, his weathered face etched with the lines of countless covert ops, traced a calloused finger across the map of Afghanistan. The desert landscape seemed to leap from the paper, its stark beauty belying the hidden dangers lurking beneath the golden sands. A red pin marked Kandahar, a stark reminder of the enemy they faced. Around the table his team leaders sat, their expressions as steely as the blades strapped to their thighs. Sergeant Major Liam O'Connor, a mountain of a man with eyes that held the glint of countless firefights, grunted in agreement. "Opium money funds their terror," he rumbled, his voice a low growl. "Taking this out hits them where it hurts." Sergeant David Singh, the youngest of the trio, his youthful face still marked by the eagerness to prove himself, leaned forward, eyes scanning the intel reports scattered across the table. "What's the intel on resistance?" he asked, his voice betraying a hint of nervous anticipation. Redding met his gaze, his own eyes hard and calculating. "Expect around 50 hostiles," he said, his voice clipped. "Mix of Arab and Chechen fighters, heavily armed." O'Connor snorted, a humorless chuckle escaping his lips. "Outnumbered 3-1, he muttered, more to himself than anyone else. Redding, however, remained undeterred. He tapped the map once more, his gaze unwavering. "We've got the element of surprise," he said, his voice laced with quiet confidence. "Night insertion, swift action. We'll be in and out before they know what hit them." The air crackled with tension, a tangible awareness of the dangers that lay ahead. Each man knew the risks, the razor-thin line between success and oblivion that they would tread during Operation Trent. But they also knew their duty, the unwavering commitment to their brotherhood and to the cause they served. As Redding concluded the briefing, the silence in the room was broken only by the soft rasp of maps being folded and the steady click of ammunition being loaded into magazines. Outside, the sun beat down on the Afghan desert, oblivious to the storm about to break in its heart. Moonlight, stark and unforgiving, painted the vast expanse of the Afghan desert in shades of silver and bone. Above, 2 Chinook helicopters cleaved the silent air, their monstrous rotors churning the sand into swirling dust devils. Inside, the SAS waited, a coiled spring of tension and anticipation. Gear clinked softly, muffled by the roar of the engines. Faces painted with black camo stripes that resembled tribal war paint stared grimly ahead. Captain Redding's voice, a low growl through the comms headset, crackled like distant thunder. 10 minutes to drop zone, he rasped, his words laced with the steely calm of a man who had stared death in the face 1,000 times. Remember, gentlemen, precision is key, no room for error. Tonight, we write our names in the sand, in blood if need be. The tension in the cramped cabin was palpable. Beads of sweat glistened on Singh's youthful face, a stark contrast to O'Connor's weathered stoicism. Each man checked his weapon one last time, the metallic clicks sounding like a grim chorus in the night. Finally, the Chinooks dipped low, their shadows consuming the desolate clearing. On a hand signal from Redding, the rear doors roared open, spewing a torrent of dust and moonlight. With practiced efficiency, the SAS soldiers poured out, each movement precise and silent, a ballet of shadows against the unforgiving terrain. Landing hard on the sun-baked earth, they melted into the darkness, swallowed by the labyrinthine shadows cast by the moonlit boulders. Their boots, muffled by desert-adapted socks, left no trace in the swirling sand. They were phantoms, ghosts on the hunt, carrying the fate of the mission on their broad shoulders. The roar of the departing Chinooks faded into the vastness, leaving behind an unsettling silence broken only by the whisper of the wind and the pounding of their own hearts. Operation Trent had begun. The Al-Qaeda compound is a maze of mud brick buildings, lit by flickering oil lamps. The SAS infiltrates silently, using grappling hooks to scale the walls. O'Connor signals, and the team breaches a doorway with a flashbang and suppressed gunfire. Chaos erupts inside. CQC, brutal and close. The SAS fight with practiced efficiency, taking down their targets with deadly precision. Sing, hostiles in the main building. Redding, push forward. O'Connor, secure the flanks. The SAS storm the main building, encountering fierce resistance. Redding is pinned down by heavy machine gun fire. Sing dives in front of him, taking a bullet in the arm. Sing, I'm hit! Cover me! Redding lays down, suppressing fire as O'Connor flanks the machine gunner and takes him out. The battle is over. The compound is in ruins, littered with bodies. The remaining Al-Qaeda fighters have fled. The SAS regroup, tending to their wounded. Redding, we got the target. The intel's secure. 4 of our own wounded, but we're alive. O'Connor, we did good, sir. Singh took a bullet for you. Redding, he saved my life. Get him patched up. We exfiltrate at first light. The SAS are extracted by the Chinooks, their faces grim but determined. As they fly away, the rising sun paints the desert landscape in hues of red and gold. Operation Trent. A success, but at a cost. We hit them hard, but the fight is far from over. We'll be back. For the fallen. For freedom. The Chinooks disappear into the horizon, leaving behind the scars of a battle fought in the shadows. Redding addresses his men, emphasizing the mission's significance. Redding, this isn't just about taking out a drug factory. The intel suggests this compound is a key node in Al-Qaeda's communications network. Disrupting it could cripple their operations across the region. Singh, how long do we have to prepare? Redding, wheels up in 2 hours. During the flight, the soldiers grapple with their fears and motivations. O'Connor to Singh, first time in combat? Singh, yeah. O'Connor, just remember your training and watch each other's backs. We're family out there. The SAS locate a hidden room filled with communication equipment, confirming their intel. O'Connor, jackpot. Let's get to work. The soldiers set explosives to destroy the equipment, ensuring Al-Qaeda's network is disrupted. Redding visits the wounded, including Singh. Redding, you did good, Singh. You saved my life. Singh, just doing my job, sir. Redding nods, acknowledging Singh's bravery and sacrifice. The SAS review the mission's success, highlighting the significance of their actions. Redding, we dealt a major blow to Al-Qaeda's operations and funding, but they'll be back. We need to stay vigilant. O'Connor, we'll be ready for them, sir. The soldiers exchange knowing glances, their determination unwavering despite the risks. Ext Afghan desert dawn. The rising sun paints the desert in hues of gold and crimson, casting long shadows over the remnants of the Al-Qaeda compound. Smoke billows from the ruins, a stark reminder of the night's fierce battle. Redding stands amidst the rubble, his face etched with fatigue and yet a flicker of satisfaction. He watches as his men gather, their uniforms stained with dust and sweat, but their spirits unbroken. Operation Trent. It was a victory, but not without a cost. 4 of our brothers wounded, their blood staining this unforgiving land, but their sacrifice was not in vain. We dealt a crippling blow to Al-Qaeda's operations. We disrupted their funding, shattered their command center, and sent a message that their reign of terror will not go unchallenged. EXT Field Hospital, day. Under a makeshift tent, Singh lies on a cot, his arm bandaged. O'Connor sits beside him, sharing a quiet laugh despite the somber surroundings. O'Connor, you'll live, lad. Just a scratch. Singh, grinning weakly, I'll take a bullet over that sandstorm any day. O'Connor, the desert has its ways of testing us, but we're SAS. We're built for this. EXT British Air Base, day. The Chinooks lift off, carrying the weary SAS soldiers back to base. Redding watches the Afghan landscape recede, his thoughts already turning to the next mission, the next fight. The war on terror is far from over. The shadows still lurk, the enemies still plot, but we will be there, waiting. We are the silent guardians, the unseen blades. We are the SAS, and we will never surrender. EXT London Day. A solemn ceremony unfolds at a military cemetery. The Union Jack drapes over 4 coffins, each bearing a fallen soldier's name. Families weep, comrades salute, and a nation mourns its heroes. We fight for our brothers, for our country, for a world free from fear. We fight knowing that some will not return, but their sacrifice will never be forgotten. Their names will be etched in our hearts. Their courage will fuel our resolve. We will honor them by continuing the fight, by carrying the torch of freedom into the darkest corners of the world. Dedicated to the men and women of the Special Air Service who operate in the shadows to protect us all.